Welcome to the NNN Show. It is episode 81, and yes, we are going to talk about Filip Miucin, the man who has conned and plagiarised the video game world via IGN, and he's done a pretty good job, but unfortunately, when you're doing a scam like this for this long, once the walls come down, it comes down quite quickly and quite hard, and he's now discovering that right now. So what am I talking about for the 6 people who've stayed in a cave in terms of video game news for the last couple of weeks? Well, Filip Miucin was caught out by Boomstick Gaming, I believe that's the name of the YouTuber, when he plagiarised a video for the Dead Cells game, which is out on the Nintendo Switch. It did get a score of 9.7 from him. And, well, technically that's a 0.0 now with his review promptly removed because of plagiarism. Now, we're going to do the first thing. Another YouTube show, Nintendo Dads, talked about, forgiveness and learning and that, and it's more towards, parent gamers, that channel. Now, I'm not going to take that angle because he's not a child. He is a grown adult. So, and the other topic too, that, don't go harassing his family members and things like that. His family did not force him to plagiarise work and things like that. And attacking him and things like that, can we not do that? So, but I still think he deserves a lot of criticism. Maybe not as much as he's getting, but boy, I'm very, very unsympathetic to him because I'm a writer. I've been writing for over 20 years, and plagiarism is like the biggest no-no that you can do. Now, basically, he goes in the video, he does this apology video, and that's been removed now. And he says it was unintentional plagiarism on the Dead Cells review. There is no such thing as unintentional plagiarism. It's either one or it's either the other. You either copied someone's work or you didn't. There's no sort of in the middle, I just lifted off entire sentences and paragraphs from people. So he's full of shit there. Number 2, he doesn't actually say sorry. He doesn't really say sorry he doesn't think he's done anything wrong. He just feels like, it's just an honest mistake I did in the video, in that video review thing, and he's messed up. So that's wrong. Now, he pats Boomstick Gaming on the head. Now, I know that Rich Review Tech USA said that, he could see that as a positive thing. Just be nice to the YouTube and say that, hey, you'll get there later on, and your content's good and things like that. I don't think so. I think this guy, Filip, I think he's got a he's got a bit of an ego on him. Just the way that he presents and talks to himself and things like that. And I'm a writer, and I tend to notice body languages a lot because I sort of write that stuff in my stories, and it gives me an idea what people are like. So what he does, he sort of says, best of luck to you and things like that. Doesn't apologise for actually plagiarising his video. He sort of says, good luck on the future and that. Sort of pats him on the head, and then he goes on and says, hey, you too can go work for IGA or a big video game company publisher, because I started off as a YouTuber. And he starts talking about himself so that the ego goes up. I came as a YouTuber, and maybe one of you will end up there one day. So I don't know where that comes from, and it really doesn't paint him in a very good light. So he turns the wrong direction, probably because this is the first video in years that he's actually had to come up with his own content. I'm surprised that he didn't plagiarise his own apology plagiarism video. Looked up into someone else's apology video and just sort of took down notes. I would not be fucking surprised if he did that. I would not be surprised, because it felt, and I will go on to how I feel about his personality later on. So the dumbest thing he did is that he dares people, and dares, this other journalist who's been sort of on his case a bit, to bust him on anything else that they see as plagiarism. And they did. And they did a lot. There's now over probably a dozen cases, or probably dozens of cases, where he's plagiarised from a small scale to a large scale. You can go read it at Reset Era and probably on Reddit and maybe even IGA forum boards if they allow it. Probably not, I would say. And games affecting, FIFA 18, Octopath Traveler for the Nintendo Switch, so that's review's probably gone. Bayonetta 2, that review's gone. Other games too, even when they did the HD Rumble preview for the Nintendo Switch, he reviewed that. Did he even use it? Did he just, use the old Rumble pack for the Nintendo 64 and think, that'll be close enough, that's the same Rumble pack from years ago, it should be the same. God knows what he did. There was either other times where he's asked people questions for the Octopath Traveler interview that he was going to do. Didn't even know about the game, had no idea what it was about, and this was the guy that was the head editor, apparently, of IGA's Nintendo department. This is really, really scary. That IGN has done this. And how he got away with it. Dares to find more works. So basically, IGN has no choice but to remove everything that he's ever created on their website because they don't know what is right, what has been plagiarised and what hasn't. So that's a big issue for them. So they just have to remove everything. So, what do I think about Filip in his personality? When I looked at his apology video, and I've looked at a couple of his voice chat podcasts on IGN, and what I noticed is that he has a very hollow personality. Even him talking about Nintendo, he just doesn't seem to be someone who has a lot of knowledge about them. He tends to be, he's the host of the podcast, well, he used to be. And you could see him sort of just sit in the background, not really knowing much about what they're talking about. He might come out with a generic statement like, well, Smash Brothers will probably sell well this year, or, I'm sure that people are looking forward to Animal Crossing. The Nintendo Switch has a screen on it. Just really obvious stuff that anyone can do. And he has like a textbook guide, and that video was a very textbook thing. Comes in, says sorry about something. What is he sorry about? He's sorry for the unintentional plagiarism, which means that he's not actually sorry. It's the sorry not sorry video that he's done, apology video. Then he talks about other things about, saying that, I was a good YouTuber and you too can make it because I did so well. And I'm sorry for all the pressure on other workers and things like that. Doesn't take any responsibilities for himself, and then sort of puts on this fake sort of, and it's been hard on my family sort of thing, and sort of using his family as a bit of a shield. Now, I'm just saying that the abuse against his family is absolutely wrong, but I feel like he might be using it as a bit of a shield to say, get off my back about this sort of stuff. And it's hard with someone who plagiarises because you can't really tell if they're faking it or they're for real. And I feel like that apology video was quite fake. Just his personality, his mannerisms and things like that. There's something a bit eerily off about him. And I think that he doesn't know how to be authentic, because I think the real Filip is a pretty hollow, boring person, which I don't think has the abilities to create anything. He is not a creative person. He's definitely not. I don't think he's got a creative bone in his body. I don't think he has to rely on copying other people because he doesn't know what to do or what to write, which is insane. This also opens up the concerns of people who work in the video game industry with no degree or qualifications. He literally became a YouTuber with only just 60,000 subs, I believe, when he got big and moved over to do this work. So he was not really a big YouTuber. He was a medium-sized to smaller YouTuber that somehow won the lottery, got this job, and probably had no idea what to do in it. And I think he was probably plagiarising on his YouTube website too. So that sort of thing. So here's the thing about it. His personality, and how did he scam anyone? How did he con so many people and let this thing go on? How did he plagiarise the world, the video game industry, and sort of rock it and make people think twice about, you know, what's real and what's fake out there now? Review scores affected and things like that. He does remind me of another YouTuber called Clean Prince Gamer or something like that. And he does these 15-minute essays, and he was caught out by another bloke about the Division 2, because clearly, looking at the information that he says and what this other guy said in a nutshell, he clearly didn't play the game. Clean Prince's videos are normally him borrowing gaming footage from other people and talking about games in a very vague but intelligent way. Because it's wrapped up in an essay and it's talked in an intelligent voice, as the Division 2 is one of the greatest games of all time, and you will have to believe me because I'm speaking in an intelligent essay format. It's 15 minutes long. It must be intelligent. Believe me. Believe me. And a lot of people believed him. He's got over 500,000 subs and a lot of views in that. And he's been caught out. He hasn't addressed anything of those concerns for Clean Prince. But this Filip guy reminds me of him, where he's played the con job. He's played this con job of sounding like a really intelligent guy, but instead of not knowing anything, not only he doesn't know anything, but he's plagiarized other people. And the same thing with Clean Prince, where he's sort of borrowed articles about information about games, but because he's never played those games, this other bloke, you can tell that if you've played the game yourself. And for Filip's case, he probably hasn't played many of the games that he's reviewed, and he doesn't seem to know much about Nintendo at all. You know, and that's how he's played the con job, by using other people's work and appearing to be smart and intelligent. Now, maybe my channel comes across like that sometimes, and I don't know everything about Nintendo. Talk to me about Fire Emblem, and my face goes blank. I'm not a big fan of the series, and I haven't really dived into the series that much, for example, or some other series. You know, Pikmin. Pikmin is a big series for Nintendo, but I'm not really a fan of it. And I will report on it from time to time when big news comes out, but I don't think I would buy the game or really review it or do a let's play on it or something like that. So I don't know everything too. But I've never plagiarized anyone, because I'm a writer and I know better. And number two, that probably my work isn't good enough to be plagiarized. But hey, it worked out for Boomstick Gaming, because he's scored like 80,000 subs. So maybe the way to getting up high on the YouTube ladder is if someone could please plagiarize my work. Please, IGN, just please plagiarize my work so I can get some more subs. I only really want 1,000. I'm like 260 there. So, apart from that plea, overall, that's how Filip conned and plagiarized the video game industry. It's amazing how he's gotten away with it for so long. I think policies will be changed, and I think that YouTubers won't be able to walk through the door of IGN and get the job that he received. It's quite shameful. It's quite shameful what's happened, and hopefully everyone has learned a big lesson out of this and be a bit more diligent about work and stuff like that, and see what will happen. If people do see plagiarism, call it out. Don't wait for it for years later on down the track or something like that, because you'll end up with this big mess where lots of reviews and previews and articles will be removed because you just don't know what is his own body of work or what's fake. So, and in 4 words, his career is over. It's gone. He should go to KFC and Macca's and work there, because he won't be accepted in journalism, any form of journalism or anything to do with the written word in a professional manner ever again. So, that is it for me, and I shall see you later on.